Alright guys, welcome back to Valorant News. Big developments in the Americas Valorant team going down last night with some big VCT games going on with some surprising results of that, but also Sentinels play a game tonight and TenZ, after being ill quite often, is now injured or ill again, as we shall see in a few minutes time, with an infected finger it seems, which probably will affect his performance. In an ideal world, he would probably step out of the team to recover and Marved, their substitute, would come in, but Marved with no visa is not able to do so, and therefore it's putting Sentinels in a really tricky position in what is a very important game. Very much enjoyed to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. First of all, a remarkable story here, and thankfully both Wyatt and Bren are okay at the very least. They got into a car crash yesterday when getting to LA, or to the venue for the VCT from LAX. Their Uber driver turned into oncoming traffic and they got slammed into. You guys can see the, well, outcome for the car here. And, well, thankfully the guys they're not okay precisely, but they're at least well. They were able to walk away. As he says here, we both walked away with no serious problems. I was concussed and was out for a bit. I have whiplash as well. Bren's legs got hit hard. So, yeah, they're resting it up and taking it easy. So, you know, that could have been really bad. So hopefully they're, you know, going to recover quickly and should be okay shortly enough. But still, shocking turn of events, and glad they're all right. So we've also got to talk about some of the Americas matches. We'll discuss Americas in a second. First, I did want to show, though, the PaperX DRX game from the Pacific. This was a match where PaperX, you'd have thought, could have been somewhat competitive, but it didn't really happen, to be honest. They did make the change with something coming in, and they made a bit of a move here with Benkai and GenG and all this type of stuff. Like, they're trying a few things here, PaperX, but it didn't really work against Mako, right? This guy is just way too good. 13-5, 13-10, a bit more competitive on the split, but in the end, PaperX go down. So DRX looking pretty dominant right now, it's got to be said. PaperX is still okay, but they're not quite where they need to be. DRX opening things up 4-0, GenG are 3-0, PaperX 2-2. So, you know, it's going to be tricky for that third spot, but it does open the door to potentially a team like even, you know, Japan's Zeta Division. It'd be nice if they could get the top 3 seed to make it to Masters, and they will need to, and at least, well, DRX opening the door by taking down PaperX in the way that they did. We've also got to mention, though, Evil Geniuses. They confirmed yesterday that BcJ has been benched from the team. We saw the rumours coming out from George Geddes and other sources that BcJ is gone and Demon 1 is in. This is strange for many reasons. We discussed it yesterday. Now, Evil Geniuses do a tweet. Now, most teams would do some sort of maybe a graphic, right? They'd make a graphic for BcJ out, Demon 1 in. Maybe they'd even have the coach on camera talking about why they've made this change, with some discussions with, you know, what Jack Etienne and Code and MCE did on Cloud9. But no, Evil Geniuses, their way is to just do a incredibly strangely worded tweet. VCT roster update. Demon 1 replacing BcJ to give open tryouts, find the chance to show his skills as the team continues to develop. Now, I've reading this like 5 or 6 times. I have finally figured out what they mean. Like, on the first or second read, or even on the third read, it's like, what are they even trying to get at here? But the key to deciphering what they actually mean here is this open tryouts find. I believe what they're using this to refer to is to refer to Demon 1. So Demon 1 replacing BcJ to give open tryouts find, which I guess refers to Demon 1, right? Their finds that they had during the open tryouts they did a long time ago now, but Demon 1 was brought in as a result, giving their open tryouts finds the chance to show his skills. So, I mean, I don't really get it. I don't mind Demon 1 coming in. I think that's actually a pretty good idea, but replacing BcJ, I just don't know. And even Durka's like, translate, what do you even mean by this? So, classic performance of BG, and then as BCG says, someone else fill this out, please, I'm busy at the moment. So, yeah, I don't know what the future is exactly for BcJ. Hopefully he can get back into the team. Maybe it's just a temporary thing, but yeah, BcJ doesn't seem happy with the team either by tweeting this out, and I can't blame him exactly. So, tricky situation, but officially confirmed by Evil Geniuses yesterday. We'll see how they fare in their next game. Now, also a big game though, Cloud9 versus 100 Thieves. I would have said that 100 Thieves were marginal favourites here, but they've not looked particularly good lately, and it's great to see, I think, for Tier 2 Americas Valorant, that, well, Jake and Rooney are really playing well at this level. Now, I think the previous team was probably going to be better than this roster with Ye and Vanity, and I still think that's the case, to be perfectly honest, but nonetheless, right, in a series like this against a good team like 100 Thieves, well, honestly, I don't know if 100 Thieves are actually particularly good, we'll say in a second, but at least Rooney and Jake, after the questions about these pickups, they're performing at a good level at this level in the Americas side, which probably shows that there's a pretty deep talent pool there down in Tier 2, which I feel like we knew anyway, but, you know, I think this is kind of the confirmation, given Rooney and Jake weren't exactly considered the next up players from Tier 2, but, you know, they're coming coming in here and doing a stellar job so far. Speaking of stellar though, 100 Thieves, they ain't looking so good. Like the IGLing, the calling, the strats, the way they use their ultimates, it's not looking pretty. And to be honest, right, ever since Sean Gares departed this team, it's been all downhill, to be honest, right? Mike's does not seem to quite have the same grasp of the meta and what is required as some of the best other coaches. Cloud9 Destructive did a better job. And even on an individual level, like Cryo, right? I mean, he came into this team, was considered one of the best, if not the best players on that role in the entire game. There was talks about, oh, you know, definitely even want him over Ye because, you know, it's going to work better with the chemistry and stuff. But, I mean, yeah, not a good performance from them. 2-0 for Cloud9. Pretty comfortable, to be honest. Derek had a good job, but, yeah, Cryo on the Jet, not playing particularly well. Lotus, actually, let me go back to the overview. Lotus 13-7, Ascent, okay, 14-12. So it was competitive, right? It wasn't, you know, they didn't get bowl over here. But this was a series, if you were 100T, you really did need to win, and they couldn't. Cloud9 2-0, and that puts 100 Thieves in a spot where realistically they're not going to qualify for Masters now, because the matches they still have to play, if they're losing some of the games they've lost so far, are probably borderline unwinnable, to be perfectly honest. And you know, okay, they can improve, but I mean, they've got a lot of things to deal with, a lot of things to work on, and the team just isn't clicking right now as expected, because frankly, this team, when it was formed, they did better in their early phases than I expected, and they were briefly the best North American team, I think. Even going into this season, they were the most promising one, and I think the optimism was there that, okay, they'll either kick on or they won't kick on, and the team's got to blow it up. But I don't see this team finally just clicking and finding their level. I think they've had their chance, they've shown what they're capable of, and frankly, it isn't quite enough to compete on this level. However, though, we then get NRG versus MIBR, and this was a series where you'd expect NRG to get the job done, certainly on Icebox and stuff, but still, an American or North American team cannot beat a South American team. I don't believe it's even happened so far. Like, when you're looking at pretty much any teams right now, like any Brazilian teams, any South American teams, they all just destroy the North American teams. And NRG, like, questions about them as well, after making the changes they did, or with Ye gone and all the changes with Som and everything. And in fairness, Som has probably been their best player, to be honest. Like, the other guys haven't been particularly impressive. Finesse is now going back as Finesse. So he used to be Finesse, then he was FNS, now he's going back as Finesse again, but it doesn't seem to be helping his gameplay, to be honest. And then it was, okay, it was a 2-1 series, it was a close fought affair. NRG are never going to go down without a fight, but MIBR winning this is actually massive, because to me, with Loud and Furia and Leviathan, like, these teams, there's only 3 qualification spots for Masters. NRG were, and still probably are, the best hope from the Americas, or the North American side, to actually qualify for it, but it's just straight up not happening, right? Artis went down in that strange gunfight. Okay, nice clutch for Victor, and you'd have thought NRG could have won this, right? 12-10 up, they should have been on the verge of doing it. They collapsed, like, even on the map that they won in this series, a big lead that they squandered, right? NRG had a big advantage here. They probably should have taken this thing, I think it was, what, 10-4 at this time? Like, this should not have gone 16-14. They lost game 1 13-10, and then this goes overtime and they lose 16-14. So, I mean, what a series, right? First of all, between MIBR and NRG, but this defeat was massive for their season. Everyone positive on the side of MIBR as well. Finesse has a really tough series, 3 different players picking up the killjoy over the course of it, like a weird turn of events, but yeah, still NRG not the team that they need to be right now if they want to really deliver great performances, and they are, well, letting points slip, let's say, in terms of qualification for Masters, and there might be no North American representation at Masters based on the evidence we presently have, and that would be utterly deserved in terms of performance levels so far. Now, MIBR are definitely no slouches, right? They deserve a lot of credit here. They are a solid team. They haven't shown as much as, let's say, Loud have from that region, but even as babybay says from FaZe, they're one of the most structured teams I've scrimmed against. They play as a unit most rounds, so that is promising. But today, it's Sentinels' turn to go up against some South American competition, and that will not be at all easy, especially when this has happened to TenZ. So he puts this on his Instagram story, what has happened to my finger? And it almost looks broken, right? Because his left finger's like swollen around the joints here. I don't know what's going on, but I mean, this is on his left hand, so not his mouse hand. So you'd think he would still be able to press the buttons, but maybe not as well as he usually can. And there was discussions here between Tarek and Kaide that, I mean, yeah, this is just unfortunate for TenZ. It's not going to be a good sign. Ideally, I guess they would get a sub in this case. They can't get Marved though, and Tarek isn't going to come in, so they might just be forced to play through with it.
All right, let's see tomorrow's matches, actually, because I don't know. Okay, tomorrow's matches. Sentinels Leviathan and EG versus Crew with Demon 1 instead of BcJ, if you didn't hear the news. Sentinels Leviathan See what Kaide said in the chat? Tyson has a joint infection. Can't bend his left index finger. And joint infection? How does that happen? Check message on phone.
During our training, that just helped us become better. And
is this the outline of where the infection is? What the f? Why do I feel like Tyson always has some random shit happening to him? And looking at the picture, it looks like it's definitely inflamed and swollen. But the problem is that if he's forcing himself to play through it, that could make it worse. But that's so like I don't know, man. It's so sad because I feel like Tyson always runs into some sort of funny thing is it doesn't even look bad in the picture, but it's way worse in person. Oh man, dude. No, dude, how has this happened? So he's just playing with he's just gonna play with it, I guess. That's the situation. He's just gonna play with the infection on his hands. And Marv can't play because he doesn't have a visa. What the what? How is our 6 not able to play? I actually can't play even if I wanted to. I'm not on the roster. Like, you can only have 6 people, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's capped at 6. But what the how does he not have a visa yet?
So this is the problem with the Marved situation, right? Because you're meant to sign a sub, as they have in Marved, a great sub, probably one of the best subs you could possibly ask for, could step in, play most roles. But right now, he's got no visa. It's the kind of the demon, really, of any esports player's career, especially if you're outside of North America or outside of the USA, to even get a proper visa going is challenging to achieve. Marved is stuck in Canada. He can't play right now. So what's the point even having him as a sub if he can't even play, right? I mean, okay, obviously they were going to get him there eventually, but you know how TenZ is. He's gonna get ill, he's gonna get unwell, he's gonna get illnesses. Like, that's just, you know, TenZ is prone to this type of stuff all the time and needs to stock up on the vitamins, I guess. Or the vitamins, right, as those from America say. But still, Marv doesn't have his visa, so he's effectively a worthless sub right now. They can't bring him in anyway because they simply can't get him there, and Tarakas are gonna do it. So, I mean, I guess TenZ is gonna be forced to play through this issue, which is not ideal at all, especially when, as I say, they play Leviathan tonight, and that is a tough series, right? They're 1-1, but looking super good lately. So, and Sentinels need a win here, right? If they lose this, their hopes are probably already dashed in terms of qualifying for the Masters event, and Leviathan need to win to try and catch up to Fury, Loud, you know, obviously these other teams that are doing well, MIBR even right now. Cloud9 are technically topping the lot at 2-1 because they've won the most maps and stuff, but that probably won't last too long. It's a very interesting set of stories. Very much intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.